Good morning! I'm so glad you're here for another episode of the Morning Ride Stories, the little storytelling show that keeps you company on your way to school. Whether you're sitting in the car, on the bus, or finishing your toast at home, I hope you're ready for a brand new adventure. Today's story is called The Cleaner Nobody Noticed. It's all about a boy who walks through his school every day without really looking at someone important, until one day when everything changes. And let me tell you, it's a story that might make you look a bit differently at the people around you, too. All right, let's get started. Oliver sprinted down the pavement with his backpack bumping against him like a small, annoyed drum. He was late again. His shoelace was half untied, his hair was pointing in 5 different directions, and he was sure he'd forgotten something, though he couldn't tell what yet. Maple Ridge Primary School stood ahead, warm yellow bricks glowing in the early morning sun. Kids rushed past him, some laughing, some yawning, and some dragging their feet as if their beds had tried to hug them back inside. When Oliver turned into the front entrance, he zipped right past a man who was slowly sweeping the hallway. The broom swished across tiny bits of dried leaves and specks of dirt kids had tracked in. The man wore a soft navy jumper and glasses that kept sliding down his nose. But Oliver didn't notice any of that. He never did. That man was Mr. Harris, the school's cleaner. He arrived before most people woke up, carrying a warm thermos and a long list of tasks no one ever thought about. Every morning, he swept the floors before the first bell. He dusted bookshelves, wiped desks, emptied bins, and sometimes even helped the cafeteria staff when they were short on hands. And every morning, children zoomed past him like he was part of the wall. Oliver was one of those children. He dashed into his classroom, tossed his lunch container into his cubby, and collapsed into his seat. His friend Mia whispered, "Made it with 30 seconds to spare." Oliver grinned proudly. "I'm getting faster." But just as he settled in, his stomach sank. That feeling, he'd forgotten something. Mrs. Bell, his teacher, clapped her hands. "Books out, everyone. Reading folders, please." There it was. He'd forgotten his reading folder. At home, chores were mostly done by his mom or older brother. Oliver didn't clean much, didn't tidy much, and definitely didn't think much about cleaning. Someone else always handled that part of life. Someone he never stopped to consider. Oliver shrugged, figuring he'd sort it out later. He never imagined that the person who kept things running smoothly at school was the very one he hurried past every single day. The next week brought that kind of rain that didn't fall loudly, but gently soaked everything. By the time kids hurried into school, their shoes squelched and left muddy shapes like wiggly worms all through the hallway. Oliver tromped right through the puddles on the floor, not really noticing. He was too busy telling Mia about the dream he had where his science project grew legs and ran away. They hurried to their classroom, completely unaware of the wet footprints trailing behind them. Yet somehow, when they reached their room, it was spotless. The floor gleamed, the desks sat in perfect rows, the windows sparkled even though rain dripped outside. Mia mumbled, "How does our classroom always stay this clean?" Oliver shrugged. "Maybe we just don't make much mess." The truth is, they definitely made messes. Crayon wrappers, snack crumbs, pencil shavings, mystery smudges. Children were like tiny creative tornadoes, but none of them knew who tidied everything before they arrived. Oliver spent the whole morning feeling a little out of rhythm. He kept thinking about the reading folder he'd forgotten again. When Mrs. Bell asked for homework, he fidgeted. "Oliver, I know mornings can feel chaotic, but being responsible helps your day go much better." He nodded, staring at the perfectly clean floor. "I'll try." "Good. And maybe take a moment sometime to notice the people who help make this place feel like home." Oliver wasn't sure what she meant, but he would soon. Tuesday began strangely. When Oliver rushed into school, he didn't hear the familiar sweeping sound. No broom brushing the floor, no soft humming echoing down the hall. Instead, he stepped inside and slipped slightly on a blob of mud. "Whoa!" he yelped, catching himself on the wall. Kids all around were reacting the same way. Someone dropped a cereal bar and it squished under another kid's shoe. Paper bits scattered near the lockers. A juice box lay tipped over near the water fountain. By lunchtime, the school looked like a small storm had visited only their building. "Why is it so messy today?" Mia asked. Oliver shrugged, though his voice wobbled just a little. Maybe something's wrong?" A loudspeaker crackled. Then came Principal Carter's voice, warm but a little tired. "Good morning, everyone. I wanted to let you know that Mr. Harris is home sick today. We wish him a speedy recovery. For now, please be extra mindful of keeping our school tidy." There it was. The missing piece. Oliver suddenly saw everything differently. The muddy entrance, the overflowing bins, the sticky hallway outside the cafeteria, the muddy classroom door handles, the juice spill that made him almost slip. A spot he knew he'd seen Mr. Harris wipe many times. For the first time, Oliver realized that the school didn't magically clean itself. Someone had always been behind the scenes, making everything better before the day even began. And now that person wasn't there. By the afternoon, things were so messy that teachers had run out of paper towels. Kids complained that the bathrooms looked like a raccoon had moved in. Even Mrs. Bell sighed as she stepped around a wad of chewing gum. That's when Principal Carter made the announcement. "Students of Maple Ridge, this afternoon we will all join together to help clean our school. Classes will rotate stations. Please listen to your teachers for instructions." Oliver groaned quietly, but followed along. His class was assigned sweeping, wiping, and sorting recycling. He grabbed a broom that felt almost taller than him. At first, he mumbled to himself. Sweeping was harder than it looked. The dustpan kept slipping, the broom didn't go where he wanted, his arms got tired fast. Mia wiped tables nearby. "This is exhausting." "I know," Oliver admitted. "How does Mr. Harris do this every single day?" The more he worked, the more he realized how many jobs Mr. Harris must do without anyone helping him. Oliver felt a small prick of guilt. He had passed Mr. Harris so many times, never said good morning, never said thank you, not even a smile in the hallway. By the end of the afternoon, Oliver's arms felt like cooked noodles, but a tiny thought had settled into his heart, growing warmer and clearer. He had never really noticed Mr. Harris, and that had been a mistake. Wednesday morning arrived with golden sunlight stretching across the playground. Oliver walked through the school doors more slowly this time, actually paying attention. And there he was, Mr. Harris, sweeping, just like always. But this time he could see how carefully he moved the broom, how he pushed his glasses up every few minutes, how gentle his expression was, even though most people didn't greet him. Oliver stepped forward, feeling his heart thump. "Good morning, Mr. Harris," he said, louder than he expected. I'm glad you're back. Thank you for everything you do here." Mr. Harris paused, his eyebrows lifted behind his glasses. "Well, that's very kind of you, Oliver. Thank you." Mia came up behind him. "Morning, Mr. Harris. We missed you yesterday." Soon, other kids joined in. "Hi, Mr. Harris. Hope you're feeling better. Thanks for cleaning our hallways." Mr. Harris smiled, a real smile, the kind that reached all the way to his eyes, and Oliver felt a warmth spread in his chest. Later that day, Principal Carter announced something special. "Because of how many of you showed kindness this morning, we will now celebrate Helpers Appreciation Day every term. We want to recognize all the people who keep Maple Ridge running, our cleaners, our cafeteria team, and our office staff." The whole school cheered. But the biggest change happened not at school, but inside Oliver. That afternoon when he got home, he didn't just drop his backpack and run to his room. He put his shoes neatly by the door. He picked up toys from the living room without being asked. He made his bed for the first time in, well, maybe ever. His mom blinked in surprise. "Everything all right, Oliver?" He nodded. "I just thought maybe I should help more, like the people who helped me at school." Her mom smiled so brightly it could have powered the house. "That's wonderful." Oliver realized something important. Respect doesn't just start with big speeches or special days. It starts at home, with a made bed, a thank you, a picked-up wrapper, a smile in the hallway. The next morning at school, Oliver greeted Mr. Harris again, and this time, Mr. Harris waved back first.
What a lovely story that was! Oliver learned something very special, something we can all remember. Sometimes the people who help us the most are the ones we forget to notice. But when we stop, look, and show gratitude, we make the world kinder for everyone. Let me ask you something. If you were Oliver, what would you have done on that messy Tuesday? Would you have helped clean without complaining? Would you have thanked Mr. Harris when he returned? And here's another question for the ride. Can you think of someone, at school or at home, who deserves a little extra appreciation today? Maybe a teacher. Maybe the cleaner. Maybe the person who cooked your breakfast or washed your clothes. A simple thank you can shine brighter than you think. Remember, appreciation and respect begin at home, and they follow you wherever you go.
And that's the end of today's morning ride story. Thank you for listening and spending your morning with me. Before you hop out for class, maybe take a moment to look around and notice someone who helps your day run smoothly. A smile or a quick thank you might make their whole morning brighter. Have a great day at school and see you tomorrow on the Morning Ride Stories.